What's up guys? Today we're going to be showing you how to install SuperATV's frame brace kit on this Honda Talon 1000R. So let's get right to it. So the first thing we're going to do is come to our hood here. We're going to grab our hood latches, lift them up, and rotate them. Pick up, slide our hood, and remove it from the machine. Once we've removed the hood, we gain access to our upper shock mounting bolts. We'll want to go ahead and remove the nuts off the hardware. So if you're working with a lift or a floor jack, either way it doesn't matter. Once you have your nut removed off of your bolt, you want to put just enough tension on the shock to where you can remove your bolt, just like this. So we have ours on the lift. We just adjusted our lift until we could remove our shock bolt. And sometimes it'll vary from side to side. You've seen the passenger side came out easy. This side's still a little bound up. So we're gonna work our lift, or you would work your floor jack until you remove the tension off of this bolt and then remove it. So as you see, got the tension off of our bolt. Go ahead and remove it. So now we're gonna grab our M12 by 75 millimeter bolts with two M12 nylocks and our shock brace. Shock brace is just gonna go on just like this. Take your fresh hardware, line the shock brace up, and we'll take one of our M12 nylocks, go ahead and get it started. And we'll come over here to the opposite side. So now we're gonna repeat the same steps. If you're having issues getting it lined up, it's always nice to grab a punch. Just kind of line the shock up, get it where it's sitting correctly, lined up. Take your bolt, just take a socket and just run it through. See, there was no resistance on that, so we didn't hurt anything. It's not going to tear anything up doing that. You just don't want to hammer your hardware in there. If it's not going good, you need to readjust. Now we're going to fully tighten our hardware. So now we're going to grab our top plate for our brace. We're going to slide it right underneath the radiator hose. It can be a little bit tight to get it in there, but it will go. Just have to have the right angle. And then there's a vent line that you want to watch out for. We may have to go to the other side and kind of push the vent line down underneath our plate. So we'll go to the other side, reach through, and pull the vent line. This vent line, we're on the passenger side right now, is going to run right beside the fan shroud there. And we just want to make sure our bracket doesn't hit it and push it and potentially pull it out. So we're just going to slide it underneath the bracket. So we've got our vent line pulled down and out of the way. Just want to slide your bracket in. So we've went ahead and removed the nuts off of our upper A-arm hardware. So what we'll do, we're going to leave the shock hooked up. We're just going to wiggle the A-arm around until we can get our A-arm hardware removed. And you see, wiggle around on the arm, the bolt comes out. Same thing for the rear hardware. Wiggle around. Got kind of hung up there. So what we're going to do is take our socket, put it on the bolt, just unthread it, just like so. Then we're going to take our brace, slide it into position, just like this. So we're working on the passenger side, so we're going to grab two of our M12 by 90 millimeter bolts, two M12 nylocks. We're going to grab our hardware here. And again, just wiggle the arm around till the hardware goes through. Same thing on the rear portion of the mount. And this is another situation where we're going to use our punch just to help us get everything lined up. Once we have it good and started in there, we're just gonna run it through. See, there was no tension on that. We're not tearing up the threads or anything of that nature. Now, if it's really hard to get it through there, then you don't want to run it through with an impact. Like I said, if the impact is just to help thread it in, you can use it, or you can use a ratchet, you can use a socket in your hand. We just use an impact, it makes it a little bit faster. We're gonna reach back here on the back side, get our nut started. Then what we're gonna do is grab our short M10 bolts. We'll have 3 per side, and also 3 M10 nylock nuts per side. So we'll just get all our hardware lined up and started. We are not fully tightening anything at this point. Gonna get your hardware started for all 3 of your bolts. It's imperative that you do not fully tighten anything at this point. And these bolts, as you can see on your bracket for your upper A arms, is gonna line up with your plate. So now that all the hardware is started on the passenger side, we're gonna go to the driver's side. So now we're gonna do the same thing on the driver's side here. Just wiggle the A-arm around until we can get our A-arm hardware out. Just like that. So for this rearmost bolt on the driver's side, it's actually gonna go through the chassis here and it's gonna end up on the inside. So what we're gonna have to do is kind of reach in and get it started. Now we're just gonna pull our bolt out. So we're gonna grab our last M12 by 90 and our only M12 by 80, accompanied by 2 M12 nylock nuts, as well as our bracket. Our bracket's gonna install just like so. You always wanna make sure that you get your brake line out of the way. The long bolt, the 90 mil, will go in the front. Go ahead and start our nut. Then our shorter of the 2 bolts, our 80, will go in the rear. Just push our bolt all the way through, and we're gonna go inside the machine and start our hardware. So now we're gonna grab our M10 bolts, the same ones that we used on the opposite side. Get our bracket lined up, get our hardware started. So once you have all your hardware started, you're gonna go through and fully tighten all your hardware. So once all our hardware is tightened, we're gonna go ahead and reinstall our hood. And that's all there is to it to install SuperATV's front end brace kit on this Honda Talon 1000R. Be sure to check the description below for a link to pick yours up today. And while you're there, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.